Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Happy Gobble Day.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Indeed. I hope you have a wonderful, joyous, festive day with your family and friends.
Thank you. You as well. And everybody else. Welcome back to Two Women in Crypto. It's been another crazy week in Cryptoverse.
You know, do you ever think, what is it going to be like when there's calmness in the waters? Because we are so used to, okay, what is this week going to bring, right? What's going to happen this week? So here we are yet again.
Yeah. And like, you know, I'm looking and I'm in this like all day long and I'm researching, and I just think it's almost like the United States is like transitioning out of being the United States and moving into like a global world, like one world, no more United States. Like, I'm like, do we even have like a rule of law anymore? You know, watching the FTX case, you know, it's so wild because I was listening. I think the guy's name is like Michael Arrington, and he's a huge like venture capitalist guy, invested a bunch of money into FTX. And like I was listening to him yesterday, and he's like, 4 years ago, some young kids broke into my house and stole a couple of computers. I called the police and they got arrested. Why isn't Sam Bankman arrested, taken in for questioning? And I'm watching the government pretty much just protect him. They're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting how he has, for some reason, has some type of immunity to all of this.
Yeah. So, and then I was thinking like, wow, when I look at what's going on in the world, the United States is becoming a third world country, in my opinion, right? Because like, again, it's just like without rule of law, like what is there?
Right.
So super interesting. And I'm watching Senator Warren speak, and she's blaming, that's the other thing, like the news outlets, right? This propaganda baloney. And they're like, crypto needs to be regulated because of what happened. But it's like, it has nothing to do with cryptocurrency, y'all. Nothing happened to the blockchain. Decentralized finance, decentralized exchanges, all of that is fine. The problem that's going on right now is large, elite, corporate, centralized entities that have been laundering our money.
Right. Exactly.
And like they've been meeting with the SEC consistently and the government, the United States government. And they didn't even cancel Sam Bankman-Fried is speaking at an event sponsored by the New York Times on November 30th. He's speaking virtually from the Bahamas.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Shame on whoever. Shame on all those that are involved.
All of them. And did you see like who's going to that conference, that summit?
I didn't go through the list.
Larry Fink.
Oh.
The CEO of BlackRock, Janet Yellen, our current Treasury of the United States. You can't make this stuff up.
I don't understand. It's wild.
But, it's like, and again, it's like I see people like, we're all fired up, right? Because we're all seeing rule of law. Where is the law? Where's the questioning? I mean, this is like as big as Enron. And it's just unbelievable.
From the past. Yeah. Yeah. Enron, how long ago was that? Just out of
That was a long,
recollection.
long
That was
time
a
ago.
long time ago. Yeah. Big stuff. But
Yeah.
well, we'll see if anything, if any justice is really brought forward for it. It doesn't look like there will be anything at this point, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. And if there is no justice, folks, we got to sit and think about this.
Yeah.
Right. Because when I'm looking at Senator Warren and she's like screaming and writing letters about regulating crypto, they've had 13 years to pass some of this stuff. So it's hard not to think about this is all planned, right? I mean, this is a strategic plan to bring in the central bank digital currency. So the average American citizen, it's not just America, right? It's the average citizen around the world is going to be surveilled, monitored, tracked.
Yep.
All in the name of safety, because cryptocurrency is so bad, even though it's just a handful of companies that's creating all of this. Whether, even with Terra Luna, it was Alameda research, right? It's just,
I mean, most of it ties back to the one entity. It really does.
It really does. So then when I'm thinking about and listening, and again, like, Kelly and I think we're both in agreement, like the bottom is almost in, but I think we both agree that there's going to be one more big like shenanigan, right?
Well, and I think that shenanigan will probably be based on what happens with the next FOMC meeting. So the first part of December, what is that? December 13th? Is that the FOMC?
I think so. It's somewhere around there. I haven't checked for sure.
I'm thinking that'll probably be the catalyst, one of the catalysts.
Yeah.
Outside of whatever wild thing will happen in the market between now and then.
Yeah. And we'll see, we're going to see how this like plays out, with the fall of Alameda research, with the fall of FTX, we're seeing this contagion effect. And again, I went back, I was doing research. I pulled an article up from like 2 years ago and I included it like in the description at the end. And it's kind of all based around Tether.
Yeah, and Tether, for those that aren't familiar, Tether is USDT. It's a stable coin.
Yep, pegged to the United States dollar.
Yep.
Created back in 2012 by J.R. Willett, who created a second layer on the Bitcoin blockchain and created this stable coin that's supposed to be pegged 1-to-1 with the United States dollar. Now, they've never agreed to an audit. They have changed their pegging. No longer has to be backed by a dollar. It can be loans. So here's the question, right, Kel? In 2020, when the government told us to stay home and watch Netflix, right?
Right.
Tether was minting. Tether was creating money out of thin air. 1/3 of all Tether. Where did it go, Kel? Where did it go?
Well, I know, but I love it when you deliver it because it's so much more theatrical. So please tell the public because it's wild.
So 1/3 of all Tether minted went to Alameda Research, who in turn invested 90% of that Tether into FTX.
If anybody is listening to this and you're just not quite sure, I hope you rewind and listen to that again and rewind and listen to that again. That's
right. So holy moly, because folks who don't understand Tether, and that's a good point too. Like, so we have Tether is like the largest stable coin. Okay. Yeah. USDC, I think the trading volume is like 2.6 billion. And Tether's trading volume is over 20 billion. Just to give you an idea of how much bigger Tether is than the United States digital coin. Yet the United States digital coin is backed by all the banksters.
Right.
circle created by center and all of these things. So it's just like, are we going to see the fall of Tether, and what will that do to the cryptocurrency prices in the short term? Because again, crypto's not a scam.
Right.
Cryptocurrency is the new economy. It's not just going to be central bank digital currencies.
Right. And for those that don't understand, when you're trading, often the pairs of a coin, say whatever you want to take, say Cardano is pegged to you trade USDT to obtain your coin. So it's a very pivotal part of how people are obtaining their cryptocurrencies at this point. But if you're holding anything in USDT currently, we highly suggest you don't.
Right.
And we highly suggest you might put it into USDC.
Right.
Or another stable coin like BUSD even that's.
I know. I mean, it's, and that's the thing, like people are asking me, they're like, you know what? Like, because like, again, we have to onboard our money, right, into cryptocurrency. So it's really difficult to do without paying super high fees. So what centralized exchange can we trust right now so we can get our US dollars into cryptocurrency and then get it offline to your Ledger, your Treasure, your SafePal, Keystone, anything, even a soft wallet, doesn't matter. But it's such a good point, because I've been dollar cost averaging into energy web token, just micro, just because I'm playing around with decentralized finance, right? So I'm staking my coins, and now I have to unstake my energy web token, send it back to Qcoin, convert it so it's not paired with Tether. I'm going to pair energy web token with Bitcoin.
Yep. That's a very good point for those that are staking and what the pegging is. It's a very, very good point.
Yep. So, again, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, Tether is the most liquid cryptocurrency, more liquid than Bitcoin. If that liquidity dries up, we will see it's got to be like what, a collapse.
Oh, it would be unfathomable, really. So I don't even know how the powers that be, quote unquote, could allow that to happen. I mean, that would be detrimental across the board I don't know. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, but at the same time, it's kind of like, again, if they want to push us into a central bank digital currency and everybody downloads your app from the government, right? So if you're in the United States, you're going to download the Fed app, and then all your money will be, basically like monitored. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to happen, but, we have to deal in probabilities. Is it more probable that Tether is going to fall, or will Tether be saved? I don't know the answer. So right now, I slowly onboard, money, and then I convert it right into USDC, and then I transfer it right to my SafePal, and I hold my USDC in my SafePal, and I wait. I'm waiting to see if Tether falls, because if it does, we could be seeing sub 10K price for Bitcoin. And that, my friends, is what we would call a fire sale, a Black Friday sale.
Big time. Anybody who's been sitting on the side is just going to wait a little bit longer, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, for those that are just leaning, it really is such an opportunity. I mean, sadly, for those that have lost a lot, absolutely, but it is an amazing opportunity to create.
And this, again, like, we're not financial advisors. We're just sharing with you what we see and what we're doing, right? So when I'm watching this and I'm looking at the SEC, the Treasury, the CFTC, the BIS, the IMF, the United Nations, what I'm seeing is a one world government forming, maybe centered around the World Bank. And so, like, now there's all this, like, they're starting to talk about global stable coins. Well, that's really interesting because for me, the two top contenders for a global stablecoin would be XRP and XLM. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's speculation, but when I read through the World Bank documents on their website, they mention stellar lumens and XRP. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah. So again, it's not like cryptocurrency is going away. There's a really cool channel now called The Ripple Effect. And Rosie Rios speaks, and all these people are speaking. And Rosie Rios just spoke like a couple days ago saying blockchain is here to stay. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. There's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. So what we do is we diversify. We diversify because we don't know for sure who these winners and losers are. But this I do know. JP Morgan has been in control of the banking system since the late 1800s. I don't think they're going to go away.
Right. I don't think so.
Right. So let's make some dough so we can take care of ourselves and our family and friends. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. The bottom's almost in, and then we're going to start that leg up, and then Bitcoin's going to have. And, you know, again, it's just like algorithmically and what I see for adoption. This is the .com bust. All these projects that don't have the liquidity or whatever it may be will go away, and the ones that remain will rise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we just watch the fireworks.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we need lots of popcorn for this, right? How much popcorn can we have to watch the show? Because really, this is a show, you know? I'm like, and it's like, oh, Sam Bankman-Fried made a mistake. Like, he bought his family, like, all this property out in the Bahamas. You know, like, how does that make you feel if you have money on FTX? Did you sign a contract letting Sam Bankman-Fried buy, like, it was like almost $20 million worth of properties for his parents?
Well, and of course, it goes far beyond the properties, right? Where else is the money used? Well, we can, right. I don't want to go there because that's really political, but yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, you know, Kelly and I have said, we're not Democratic. We're not Republican. We are human. And we're sick of seeing human beings suffer. And that's why we show up every week and we do this podcast. But when I see that Tether is no longer has to be backed by fiat dollars, that they can be backed by affiliates and loans, and how much these companies have over leveraged, I am just urging everybody, take a look at your coins. If it's backed by Tether, get it out. Just get it out. You know, because the contagion is real. You know, it's spread into the digital currency group. And the digital currency group, underneath their umbrella, is Genesis, Gemini, and Grayscale. So are we going to see problems with these three companies? I think the answer is yes, right? I think did Gemini halt withdrawals?
I think they did. Was it last week?
I think they did too.
I think it was last week.
Yeah. So, you know, I was able to work with someone and get all their Bitcoin off of Gemini. But again, you know, we'll have to figure out how we're going to start purchasing coins all in DeFi, right? All in DeFi, whether that's through our ledger, you pay the extra fee, you know, whatever it may be. But like, it's really hard to say, like, even with Kraken, like, can we trust Kraken? I don't think they have over leverage. They're super transparent. They have shown their reserves for 4 years, but again, the fees are super high as well. Like when you're transferring your coins, even like the fee to transfer Bitcoin, it was a decent amount of Bitcoin, but it was $150 fee to transfer it. Yeah, it's kind of yucky.
Yeah, that's painful. Ooh, that's painful.
Right.
You know, but it is part of playing the game, and we are in the middle of a game. So Is it worth it? I know I've paid some extraordinarily huge fees over the last couple of years for some of my trades.
Yep. I know. And again, it's just like, part of it is like, it's the price we pay to be decentralized and to own our own coins, right? Because I'm just looking around. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't think this is over. I think, especially when FTX went down, it was 3 days later, they got hacked. Yeah. All millions and millions and millions of dollars of Ethereum gone. And they're laundering it through DeFi, wrapped with BTC, and it's just disgusting. But again, that could push the price down for Ethereum,
Right.
And most of Tether is now being used as an ERC20 token connected to Ethereum, not Bitcoin.
Oh, that's
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So we're all learning, we're all in this together. And again, it's Black Friday tomorrow. Ledger, all of these hardware wallets, they have great sales. Buy a couple of them,
Great stocking stuffers for your family, folks.
Yep. Give them a little Ledger or a Safe Pal with the 2 Women in Crypto gift card, an hour, and Kelly and I will work with them and get them all set up. It could be one of the best gifts you ever have given somebody in their lives, because
absolutely.
Right. We talked about this last week. When countries fall and when their dollar falls, they go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sovereign money. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Interesting. It's wild.
It's so wild. I can't believe this is the world we live in, and all day long when I listen to these folks speak, I'm like, where's Gary?
I know. I just saw that.
Yeah. Where's Gary? Your job is to protect us.
Yeah. And where was Gary in his conversations with Sam Bankman-Fried? He wasn't there, was he? There was no conversations. Or was he there?
No. So Sam, I think the last time that it's on his calendar, right, at the SEC was March. So he's been meeting with, and we know, our song DeFi Man, right? At the end of it, I copied Sam Bankman-Fried speaking exactly what he did with over leveraging the money until the point where no one knew where the money was and everything collapsed because it was all gone, right? With the Lehman Brothers collapse of 2008. Now Sam Bankman-Fried just did the same exact thing. Same exact thing. And it's just like, he's been speaking with the government. He's been putting together the regulatory framework. Do we really want cryptocurrency's regulatory framework to be like the mastermind of Sam Bankman-Fried?
I swear every podcast we end up with a new shirt, a new like, what? Where's Gary? I mean, there's so many that we could come up with. And
I know.
Every day.
So that's kind of like, the name of this podcast is The Final Countdown, because I was singing to Kelly. I was like, Tether, it's the final countdown. Boom, boom.
Actually, Andrea sent me this text about this, and she said she was singing, and I could hear the final countdown. It's like, it was like, okay, here we go.
Fireworks are going off when Tether falls, and when people are just so freaked out. We are dollar cost averaging, not financial advice, but I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, which take it for what it is, the future of finance is being built on the blockchain. I'm watching it happen through all of this research. It's not going anywhere. Fidelity, BlackRock, the banks are going to hold your crypto. There's banks like in Japan and like all of these like other countries are starting to bring in the citizens to hold and trade their cryptocurrency through your regular bank. It's coming, and it makes sense that they're trying to make everything fall because the current banking system or cartel, however you want to look at it, they're not going to give up power. They're not. So this is what we have to work with, what we have, and just move on, right? Because that's pretty much all we can do. But when I look at Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, all of these companies, FTX, they've all had exposure to this Alameda research, which is created by FTX, and they're pretty much one and the same. And they were just kind of like passing money back and forth to each other. It's an absolute disgusting travesty. It's just gross. And so many people have lost their lives.
Oh, absolutely.
Once again. And it just makes me so sad. So anyway, let's talk about some good news now. Let's shift.
Yeah, let's do.
It
is Thanksgiving. We have so much to be thankful for.
The evolution of mourner. Let's talk about Cardano.
Okay.
So
don't you have that shirt on? Stand up so you can explain your shirt.
I got the evolution of money. So we got a seashell, salt, coins, dollars, credit cards, Cardano.
Cardano.
Did you see that? I can't. This
yep.
is small. All right, cool. So I'm watching Cardano, and they're just developing. So much development is going on right now with Cardano. Okay. They're coming out with a privacy coin called Midnight. Okay. Not only is it private, but it's also it's able to be audited.
Well, there's a novel thought.
Right? Yeah.
Audited? Wow.
Right.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, and I know Kelly and I have mentioned this because the venture capitalists are coming out on mainstream media, and they're basically like, I'm not investing ever. I'm never going to invest in Cardano because Charles Hodgkinson, he didn't want to get involved with the shenanigans that was going on with all of the venture capitalist company. So they hate Cardano because he's doing everything the right way. He's following what cryptocurrency is all about.
Right.
So the venture capitalist money, they buy in, right? These, like, they bought into Ethereum when it was like pennies on the dollar, right? So Charles didn't do that. He did it for everybody. Yeah. So there was no like shenanigans with the tokenomics and the pump and dumps and all of this stuff. So again, like there's a lot of people saying like in the next bull run, we really want to keep our eyes out on Cardano because they're doing their scalability. The Basel hard fork is done. We've talked about Hydra. Okay, once Hydra gets implemented, you're talking millions of transactions per second. Throw in, they got the USDA, an algorithmic stable coin like Terra Luna that collapsed, but without the shenanigans of Alameda research, right? Because the research is showing that these companies brought Terra Luna down.
Yeah.
You know, so again, maybe the future of finance with stable coins is going to be based on over collateralization, not just backed one-to-one by fiat, because this system is failing. The centralized systems are failing. And again, the CTO of Ripple, David Schwartz, he said it can't be overseen by people, because when you hold billions of dollars on these exchanges for a long period of time, it's very difficult for a human to not become corrupt. Right?
That's just such a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. But, you know, I love the transparency that David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple is bringing, because they make really good points. And like David Schwartz said, he's like, I guarantee you that this lesson is not going to be learned because of the corruption and the temptation of like, you know, over leveraging that amount of money to make even more money. And it's never enough until the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it over and over again. So
over and over again, for sure. But Cardano has stayed out of the news.
Yeah, except for the venture capitalists fudding Cardano.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and again, it's just like they're building out their ecosystem. They have a lot of partnerships in Africa. They've partnered with I forget the name of the telephone company. It's a smaller one. I think, is it like, it's Dish Network. They've partnered with Dish Network. So again, we're going to see, you know, over 20, like the whole year of 2023 is going to be a huge building year, a huge development year. But again, sophisticated smart contracts are coming to Cardano. So in the next bull run, it's possible that Cardano will be one of the biggest winners, in my opinion. Not financial advice.
None of this is.
No, but I've been following this project. I've been investing in this project since it was 9 cents, when it was a concept. And now that I can watch it unfold and come to fruition, where you can stake your coins, protect your money through your ledger, and make passive income that is non-taxable. Everybody, not financial advice, but I would stake your Cardano and just let it accumulate. Every 5 days, you get a piece of Cardano that's compounding interest. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a great way to build your wealth. Yeah, I know. Two women in crypto, even we stake Cardano together, right?
We
and
do.
I just watch it. I watch our Cardano just grow and grow and grow. And what happens in the next bull run when Cardano hits $8 or maybe $20? We don't know, but it hit just over $3 in the last bull run.
Yeah. And, you know, those that are doing any kind of technical analysis, if you are playing with the charts or following others that are playing with the charts, it's a cyclical thing. It's universal law. It's just a rhythm. And the numbers that, you know, that are in the future are really in many ways unfathomable, but they all make sense based on just the Fibonacci's and the rhythm of the markets. And it's going to be quite a ride coming up. It has been quite a ride.
Yeah, it definitely has been. It definitely has been. Yeah, and then, you know, I just want to make mention, because we have the USDA, we have Midnight coming soon, and I think the release of DZ, which is like another, you know, algorithmic coin, is also coming to the Cardano blockchain. So let's just watch this, and you know, obviously we'll go more in depth. I think I covered it couple podcasts a while ago. I broke out some of Cardano's ecosystem, and we can do that again. And I'm also including Cardano. I'll be teaching a class in the next couple of weeks. I got to get the date down. I have so much information on ISO 20022 tokens that I have to actually condense it a little bit more. And then, you know, we'll make that announcement. But sometime in December is going to be our next class. And I'm super excited about it. And, you know, and at the same time, like with Ripple Swell, it ended last week. It was like the 17th and 18th of November. And Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, what did he say? He said, Bank of America is just waiting for regulatory clarity on XRP to be used as ODL. On-demand liquidity is XRP. Bank of America is the second largest bank in the United States. They will be using ODL. So here we go. Here we go. You know?
I know. So exciting.
I know. And it's hard to kind of wrap our heads around it, because it's kind of esoteric. It's out there. It's not like here.
Oh, extraordinarily. It's hard to see the threads of all of it happening, but we're getting so much closer to the implementation, which is what we've been speaking about for over a year.
Yeah. And it takes a really long time to shift our financial system. Like, I know Swift went live this week with their ISO 20022. There's no announcement about, you know, what tokens they're using. I don't even know if they're using cryptocurrency yet, any token yet, because there's going to be a transition from the old to the new. And there'll be that bridge from the legacy system to the blockchain. And then eventually we'll see more and more adoption. And by 2025, I could see the enhanced features of all of these crypto ISO tokens being used. But when I'm listening to the world leaders and when they talk about these global stable coins, it makes sense that it would be a global bridge stable coin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All these countries want to trade in their own dollars. Okay. And you can use XRP for on-demand liquidity, for frictionless, like we're sending value through the internet. Just like we send information through the internet, we're sending money through the internet.
Yeah.
That's what XRP was built for. Okay. So, instead of holding money in these Nostros, Vostros accounts, this like trillions of dollars are locked up. And what if XRP can take care of just a couple trillion?
Right. Just a little bit. That's definitely a pivotal part of it. And I would say, and we'll say this, up until the ISO 222, which is also IS 2022. 20, is that right? 2022?
Just who cares?
Anyway, for anybody who's really just kind of standing on the periphery of all of this, that would be an excellent class to attend. Even if you're really like, what the hell is blockchain? What the hell is cryptocurrency? Because it's just going to be, and I'm saying this at a high, well, somewhat of an unknowing, because Andrew is the one that's going to teach the class, but it's going to be informing you as to what the future looks like. And these are the blue chips.
Yeah.
In many ways, there's many blue chips, but the ISO 222 tokens are the blue chips of the future.
Yeah.
Really, really important to lean into this. If there's nothing else you lean into, this would be really key, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of like diversification as well, like Bitcoin, I highly recommend that people own Bitcoin. And, with Ethereum, with all the problems and all of the conspiracy and corruption that surrounds Ethereum, they're still the largest smart contract platform in the world right now, right? Yeah. So they're a winner. But so are some of these ISO tokens, right? So we're going to dive in deep and we're going to go through partnerships, who's using it. And, I always have to take a step back, Kelly, because when I first was buying into some of these tokens, just kind of like, oh, and I didn't really think about this as the future of finance, like back in 2017, but watching these systems develop over time, I think it's a great way to diversify and to watch, it's like, and what companies are going to, or what tokens are going to be providing the interoperability of central bank digital currencies. We don't want them.
Right.
But they're coming, right? I mean, we have no choice over this. So who's going to help bring the interoperability of all of these central banks? Quant. And we're going to dive into that deep, right? So all of these things are super important. And to make smart contracts happen, you need an oracle. Who's the largest oracle? Chainlink. So like they all kind of connect. And I get chills run down my body.
I know, I can tell. And, we all have a thread to weave here, and so grateful for you're doing the deep dives on these and making it understandable for those of us that can see things, but not in the minutia of it.
Right. And to take the fear component out of it, right? Because yes, people have been censored and we have problems, right? But at the same time, the only way they could fully censor all of us is if they shut the internet down, and they're not going to do that. So I see two parallel financial systems running at the same time. But again, if the average person only keeps their money in the bank and they're listening to the mainstream propaganda media that's owned by a handful of people, you know what I mean? They're not going to invest in cryptocurrency because of what they're saying. So they're going to miss out on the future of finance, just like people missed out on the internet revolution, right? Because no one's going to use a computer. No one's going to buy something online. And that's all we do now. So the blockchain is going to be incorporated in every aspect of our life. And that's just the bottom line, right? That's what's going to happen. Like I am 100% convinced because this is what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And with that said, I just wanted to touch base because again, this is another, like what Kelly was saying earlier in the podcast, like cryptocurrency goes through cycles, and we're obviously in a bear market, which no one really likes. So again, when the Bitcoiners mine their Bitcoin, they're getting to a point right now where they're not becoming profitable. So we are going to start to see smaller Bitcoin operations go out of business. And that's another indicator that the bottom is almost in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And I've been reading as well that there are some issues there for the smaller folks. So
Yeah. And again, it's always the same. As institutional money comes in, it kind of pushes out some of the earlier entrepreneurs, some of the smaller companies, right? We saw this happen with those small mom and pop shops when Walmart was created. Everybody wanted to go buy cheap goods that were made in China. And now how is that help that like we see what happens, right? But again, it's just, yeah, I mean, this is like almost
just
the
the
bottom
evolution.
end. Yeah. And I'm just watching Tether. I'm just researching it, and I'm very concerned because when people panic and their emotions take over with investing, they sell.
Oh, absolutely. It's that fear, and it's the safety. It's the thought of safety. Safety is what drives the fear. How am I
Right.
safe? What's happening to my financial stability here? Absolutely.
Exactly. And then I encourage everybody to think of it in a different way. Now is the moment of time that I can dollar cost average into Bitcoin like sub 20K, because it was $69,000, and it will be brought to a portion of all pension holders in all institutions, in all banking, and so much more, right?
So much more.
So much more, because I was talking to Rowan the other day, and I'm like, remember when I was talking on the podcast about, it was like in northern Vancouver, that the Bitcoin miners were able to capture the excess energy and actually provide energy to a town. Well, what if our future energy is going to come from Bitcoin? Hard to comprehend, but it's happening on a smaller scale that will become bigger and bigger. Our entire energy grid is changing. The way that we use energy, the way that we get energy, the elite people are changing this. We will be purchasing the energy that we use through an app on our phone, and it will be monitored. And
it absolutely will.
It's so crazy, but
yeah,
I don't see it not happening, right? Especially with Shell. They are the largest sponsor for the Bitcoin conference in 2023, and I believe 2024. So if Shell is working with the Bitcoin miners, their beautiful things are going to come out of this technology, and sad things as well. But we're here, and we're going to shift. We're shifting into DeFi, decentralized finance. Nothing has changed. Nothing has been hacked on the blockchain.
Right. Yeah. And what token is associated with Shell? Energy Web Token?
Energy Web Token. It's pretty crazy. I know. Very, very interesting to see, which is why I started dollar cost averaging into Energy Web Token. But at the same time, I was doing it with Tether. And then I was like, oh man, now I got to unstake my coins. Find a different wallet. I have so many wallets.
Oh, no, it's really complicated. But please share with everybody where you are getting your Energy Web Token.
Well, we've talked about this before. I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't know why, but I can still access KuCoin.
But we can get it I know, because I haven't done. I'm still not an energy web token. It's been on my list, but I haven't pursued it as of yet. I will do that, but I know that we can get it anyway. I know that we can get it. Just a little bit more complicated. Just a little bit more
Yeah,
complicated.
and maybe Kraken.
Was it Kraken? It could have
It
been.
might be Kraken where you could buy it. Sorry, my neighbor must be
He's blowing his leaves. It's all good. It's all
blowing his
good.
leaves or cutting down a tree. Who knows?
Well, we'll follow up on that. But you can, if you go to golly geez, I just went completely blank. Where do we go for our crypto? Oh my gosh, it just is, my mind just went blank as a blackboard.
Were you thinking like Coin Market Cap?
Yeah, Coin Market Cap. I was thinking of CoinGecko. That's what I was trying to reach
CoinGecko.
for.
Yeah,
Anyway, go to CoinGecko. It'll show you your trading pairs and your exchanges. So
yeah,
cool
and
things. I'm super excited.
yeah, and I'm working on finding like a safe like wallet where we can transfer and hold our energy web token as well.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I think that's it. And so everybody, like, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy being with your friends and family. This is my favorite holiday because it's all just about, and I think every day should be like this, just to be in gratitude and grace of what we have going on in our lives.
Yeah.
And the people that surround us, all the beautiful things.
And if anyone confronts you about the collapse or the crash of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all this stuff, you just tell them the future of finance is on the blockchain. Nothing has changed. Now is the time to dollar cost average in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my dear, you have a wonderful holiday. And until we meet again, what do we do?
Hodl on, everybody.
Hodl on. Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomenencrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, hodl on.